Chad Park. I'm a dentist by profession, part-time CrossFitter.
And my name is Dean Zhu. I met Chad actually at, we used to do CrossFit together. He came to my CrossFit gym and we shared a lot of bumps and bruises over the years. A lot of, shin splitting moments.
Oh, yeah.
So that probably was the catalyst for a lot of what we're talking about today, what we're sitting on today. So Chad, tell me a little bit about when you had this first idea, walk us through that. Was that middle of the night you woke up and you're like, pen, pad, like, oh, I got this cool idea. When did you first come up with the concept for Qmulus?
Yeah, as a dentist, I'm always looking to fix stuff, right? Whether it's a broken tooth, whether it's replacing a tooth. So I'm always looking at things and how can I make it better? And I remember the first time I started doing CrossFit with you back in, that's 16 years ago. And just involved with the whole entire various workouts. And we were doing the box jumps. And it was day one where I looked at it and I went, that's kind of intimidating. And it didn't take but a month, bust the shin club. And after a month of, bust the shins, my mind just went into that engineering. How do I make this better? And, it's one of those things where you have an idea, everybody's got an idea. And typically you can talk yourself out of that idea after like 30 or 60 days because or your friends will say like, no, there's no point in that, or that's a dumb idea. But if that idea keeps on coming back up, and after a year, I still had that idea. And so it's kind of like one of those itches that you got to scratch. And it was probably like maybe 3 years into CrossFit. So this is back in, this is back at least 13 years ago. I said, yeah, I think there's a way to make something a little bit lighter, safer, and maybe I can inflate it. And that sparked it.
You invented dental crowns.
Yep.
So you've always been someone that not only identifies a solution to a problem, but I think deeper than that, you see people that are on the other side of that problem. So just saying, hey, we need a softer box, that's great if it exists, but maybe talk about the types of people that this was something that you first thought of. Like, what are some of the demographics?
Yeah.
What are some of the people that this invention can help?
Yeah. The more I did CrossFit, there's some things that just stand out where you see that most of the women in the class aren't doing box jumps. And you ask them why, and they're like, I don't want to mess up my legs. Secondly, even at home, I think box jumps was great, as we get older, trying to do that explosive movement, but where do I have space for this giant wooden box? And it's freaking heavy. And so all those things, I started thinking about, wait a minute, if I can develop this, we can hit home gym users that just feel like, hey, I like to do box jumps, but I don't have the space. That was my first main goal was you can just open up the box jump, step up or whatever. You can, sit there and do bench press on it. Just trying to open it up for people that don't have a lot of space. And it's safe, and then you can just put it away underneath the bed or tuck it up in the closet. It's the wooden boxes. Yeah, they're great and they're cheap, but aside from cheap, maybe they're dangerous. They're rigid. They weigh a ton, and you can't move them, right? Unless you have a pickup truck. So from the portability standpoint, I had to do, when I was thinking about the box, I was like, how do I make it safer? But wow, how do I make it portable? Well, then I came up with this idea of inflating it, deflating it. So, from that standpoint, it's safer and it's portable and it's lighter than the wooden box. Now there's those styrofoam cushion boxes, which I think are great too, but they don't solve the problem of they're heavy and they don't deflate, they're massive. So same thing, other than the fact that they're maybe a little bit safer than the rigid wooden box, they're just as heavy and they're just as bulky. And you can't deflate it. You can't throw it in your car and take it to a parking lot, a park or whatever. So there's nothing like this.
Okay, that's another great point. Talk a little bit about the portability of this thing, right? So it inflates, deflates, it folds up nicely into a case.
Yep.
That's also the base.
Yep.
So it's a nice little 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Talk about the portability of this invention and what are some benefit applications of this versus, like, obviously you can't stick that into a trunk, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Possible, but yeah, talk a little bit about the portability.
Those are all the different variations. When I first came up of, okay, inflation, let's inflate something. Then as I try to talk with some engineers, I'm like, hey, man, I've got to make this be able to inflate, deflate quickly. Got to make this portable. Engineers are talking about it, but then it's got to be stable. How do I make it stable? Well, we got to create a base. So then I thought, okay, if I can make a base and I can make it fold and use it like a suitcase. So these are all ideas. You have a lot of ideas, but then you got to, take that idea to actually, an engineer that can help you develop it into an actual product. And those are the things that I told the engineers, like, hey, help me design a base that will help it be stable, but that can help it just fold into like a briefcase. We finally got to the final and I said, I need it to be inflate, deflate within 60 seconds. I need to be able to fold up like a suitcase that you can just, fold up and just toss in the back of your trunk. And the end product, I think, came out great where, inflate it 60 seconds, deflate it 60 seconds, fold it up, and you're ready to go anywhere.
Probably all the questions people have is, how stable is it?
Yeah.
What's the stability? What's the load?
Yeah.
We had a booth at a really, big fitness competition.
Yeah.
And the number one thing that people did when they walked by, they wanted to touch it.
Yeah.
They wanted to feel it.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe the stability
Yeah.
and the firmness
Yeah.
of what appears as it's a cushion. It is not a solid wood or metal surface.
Yeah.
But there are some benefits to that. I think people that have joint issues, it's actually a nice thing that it has a little give.
Yeah.
Honestly, it saves from injury because people can't do the on and off like they do with a competitive box jump. It forces you to slow down a little bit, which I don't think is a bad thing.
You can't make everybody happy, right? Everybody's got preferences. You're going to have the hardcore competitive athletes that want it to be hard and rigid like the wooden box. And then you're going to have other people like, man, I don't like that. I want it a little bit softer. And that was the beauty of this is, you can inflate this and then actually manually inflate it to even a higher PSI where this thing is literally as hard as that wooden box. If you want that, it'll still be safe for your shins, but it is going to be rock hard where when you jump on it, you really shouldn't notice much of a difference whether you're jumping on a wooden box, a metal box, or a Qmulus box. But then there's plenty of people that are like, hey, I don't want it that hard. So it's just quite simple. You don't have to inflate it to that PSI to where, it's not going to be a mushy pillow because you don't want that. You need to have stability for it to jump on and not lose your balance. I personally like it rock hard to where, I'm jumping on it and I feel like it's a wooden box, but with the safety of the edges not being solid. My daughter, who plays volleyball, she likes it just a little bit softer.
In any market, having variety is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because just take something as simple as a bicycle.
Yeah.
There's 10 different bicycles.
Yeah.
There's a mountain bike, there's a road bike, there's a stationary bike, there's a cruiser bike, there is a fixed gear bike. So just to say that, oh, no, it has to be, this one box has to be for everyone. It is for everyone, but it's not intended for every single use.
Yeah.
Case in point, like you said, if you're a CrossFit competition junkie and you want that rebounding effect, which is a small subset of people, great.
Yeah.
You have a box for that. But for the vast majority of everybody else that wants to participate, and I think this is the thing that I love about this box is it allows people to participate that otherwise would have been afraid or have been turned off to a traditional box.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned, the female demographic, people that are older, they just don't want to risk. I think even guys like you and I, we don't want to risk getting hurt because we want to do something explosive, but we still like the idea of doing something ballistic onto a box. I actually really love the shape of this because this forces us to jump from a better trajectory.
Yeah.
Because most people, when they approach a box, they're like toes lined up to the box and they don't understand the physics of a parabola.
Yeah.
That's when they trip.
Yeah.
This forces you out a little bit.
Our target customer is a broad base, and one is going to be that person that's got everything. They've got the pull-up bar, they got the row machine, they've got everything. And typically, they've probably got a box, but it's going to be one of those, again, metal boxes or wooden boxes. And this is right up, I've had a lot of friends that are like, hey, I need one of those. And they just like it because it looks good, and it's, again, for that home gym owner. But secondly, it's for all those people that live in apartments or don't have a home gym and their dining room or their study is their /gym. Or, maybe they have one car garage and they're using part of it as their gym. This fits right in because you can deflate it and just tuck it away. So because of the space savings for all those people that don't have 1,000 square foot workout room, it fits in because it is a great exercise, whether it's a step up or a box jump or a burpee box jump up or anything like that. There's those groups that do workouts in the parking garage. One of my old CFTC guys, remember Brad Linder?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does that. He does the workouts in parking lots in the park, and that's perfect. But you can't do box jumps unless they happen to be somewhere where they actually see a bench. But that's still dangerous, right?
Yeah.
They can't incorporate it. But with this, right here, there's like 10 right here. These 10 could fit in a car.
Getting people used to this apparatus.
Yeah.
I think number one is I would love to see people use it.
Yeah.
Have it, touch it, feel it,
Yeah.
experiment with it. Because even when you jump on it for the first time, it is not a feeling that you're used to.
Yeah.
In a good way. Because I think it transforms what a box jump could be,
Yeah.
what explosive applications could feel like. Because I think we've been very much taught this is a rigid thought, like this is all you got. So this technology is so new to the point where I think people just need some time to touch it, feel it, get used to it, sample it, and then they'll see where it fits in the ecosystem of fitness and within their life. So
everybody that actually sees it, and once they touch it, they got to. If you live in Alaska and you just come up on our website, you're going to be a little hesitant. You're like, what is this thing, And so trying to show people on video, people using it to gain their trust, that's the biggest thing is trust. And, my full-time job of being a dentist and being a pediatric crown manufacturer, it took me, 15 years to establish my brand because people are thinking about, well, what is this pediatric dentist? And it's not even the patients, they don't know. Trying to gain the trust of dentists worldwide. Why should I use your crowns? And it took a lot of time to get the crowns out there to them for them to gain the trust. And it's the same thing with this, right? They see it, they think it's cool, but they really, I haven't had a single person come and touch it and jump on it and not go, wow.
We've used this for partner workouts up to 3 to 4 people at a time on each corner doing workouts like the Chad, which is a box step-up workout, 1,000 step-ups weighted. So at any time, besides just the one-time impact and maybe some object or a person with objects weighing close to 500 pounds, you're also talking about the cumulative stepping of 4,000 step-ups with weight in a workout and still maintaining its shape.